Welcome back to my channel. This is Mikey. Today is going to be a FedEx delivery rant. Trying to get a hold of this lovely Bach Mount Vernon edition B-flat trumpet. So to get the festivity started, so here we go. As per usual, enjoying a nice Dogfish Head beer. Cheers and prosperity, everyone. And here we go. So I went on eBay looking for a new horn. Found this Vincent Bach Mount Vernon, New York, Mercury model. This was based on the serial. It was made in the 50s. So based on the condition, I'm guessing it was replated or it wasn't played much. It's a lacquered finish. It's got nice valves. Plays nice. I'm using my custom Warburton mouthpiece on it, but there's a lot of options as far as that goes. So I was all excited, got on eBay, found this horn. We negotiated a bit, as I want to do, and came up with a purchase price. I'm not going to reveal that, but at any rate, they were happy. I was happy, and paid $65 for FedEx shipping. So the saga begins. They packaged it up beautifully, came in its original case. Definitely shown some aging there, but I'm glad they included the case. They also included a couple basic mouthpieces. And it got to shipping. FedEx picked it up, and I followed the estimated delivery time. So the first one was going to be this past Saturday. So I got a text message, I got emails and said, hey, we're out for delivery Saturday morning. Of course, I wasn't at home. I was out at breakfast and running errands and visiting my mom. The delivery estimate was 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm like, all right, no problem. Got home at about 11:30. Checked my email. Quote unquote, we tried to deliver your shipment. We were unable to deliver your shipment. Yeah, no kidding. I wasn't home. This was at 10:43 a.m. So, had a little sigh. Said, okay, not going to get excited about that. They were on a Saturday run. They probably wanted to get everything done. Fine. It's okay. Not my first rodeo, not my second rodeo, not my 100th rodeo. Dealt with shipping companies for a long time. So, I get another email. Hey, you're on our next delivery, which is yesterday, Monday. Didn't give a time. So, I was excited, got up early, did my morning routine, all that good stuff. And basically just spending the morning waiting for the FedEx. And it got to be about 10:30, which I figured that was hopefully going to be the delivery time. No such luck. So I just kept milling about. Literally this way, the front door is 10 feet away, maybe 20. So I could certainly see them, cars going up and down Oak Street. So not a couple hours, a little bit after 12, I hear a truck coming up the street. It's not a busy street. So I looked out and saw FedEx, big old truck, and it stopped a little bit past my house. So I'm like, okay, sounds good. Got ready, got up. I even walked to the door. There was no doorbell, nothing. I opened the door. I went out to the front porch. I looked at the truck. I heard a beep, and then I heard the emergency brake release, and the truck left. And I'm like, whoa, maybe this isn't the truck that's bringing my horn. There's FedEx that comes delivering other packages. Could have been from Walmart or wherever. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. So they split, went back in the house. I'm like, all right, I guess there's another FedEx coming. Then a couple minutes later, check my email. Here we go. An update for you. Sorry, we missed you. You miss me? How the hell do you miss me? I'm standing on the porch. I am fired up at this point. It's a signature required, so they can't leave it without a signature. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. There was a half-ass attempt to leave the package. They did not ring the doorbell. They didn't knock on the door. I saw them drive the truck up the road, stop, say they missed me, and then drove away. So at this point, I'm pretty fired up. I'm getting fired up again. That's why I wanted to do this video before it got stale, because I don't know if there's any other people out there, but I get a little irritated when there's poor customer service. I've been in customer service long time, and this just blew my mind. I'm like, what is going on? So I proceed onto my laptop and I Google FedEx.com. Like, I gotta call these jokers. This is ridiculous. So right now, then it's about 5 minutes after the delivery attempt. So I go to FedEx.com, I find their website, and there is no phone numbers to be found. It took pages and pages of clicking. It said, what are you looking to do? Track a package, this and that. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get my trumpet without having to drive around chasing this truck, or go to Winchester to pick it up, which that would be hit or miss. More to come on that one. So at this point, I'm just trying to get a customer service phone number. So I finally got the 800 number, and it rings, and it goes through the same automated nonsense. It wants to know, are you tracking a package? What can I help you with? I fairly calmly but aggressively say what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a redelivery of a misdelivery, that sort of thing. And then it just kept reverting me back to main menu. Then I started yelling at the phone. I don't know if you've been there, but I'm like, representative. And they're like, sounds to me like you may need further help. And then eventually it rings, and a nice gentleman from, I'm guessing, over in India, picks up the phone, and I have to go through the whole spiel. And then through the conversation, I'm irritated, so I'm taking it on at him, which it's not my finest moment, but I was fired up. I was like, this is a colossal waste of time. What is going on? And then they proceed to look up my tracking number, and they, wait a few minutes, and they say, looks like they tried to attempt delivery, but you weren't home. I'm like, stop. I'm like, I was not only home, I was sitting on my couch watching the truck pull up, and went out and stood on my porch and watched the truck leave with my trumpet. And they're like, and then they paused. They said, well, I'm sorry to hear you're having trouble with your delivery. I'm having trouble with my delivery. Yeah. Write that down. Yeah, I'm definitely having trouble. I'm having a lot of trouble. This is a freaking joke. So at that point, they offered me a redelivery the next day. I'm like, no, NO. I'm not going to go through this. Do I need to sit on my porch for all day in waving the truck down when they come up Oak Street again? No, not doing that. So done with that. And they said, well, we could hold it at the local office where you could come pick it up between 4 and 4:30. So at this point, it's about 12:30. And I said, okay. I was like, you know what? I'll bite a bullet. I have a car. I'm looking to solve problems. I want my horn, looking to get this done. If there's a third attempt and I wasn't home, the horn would be shipped back to the seller. So I'm like, okay. Normally I don't give a crap about stuff like this, but you know, when there's high-end, high-dollar items shipping back and forth, and I do a lot of watch reselling and buying and selling, I rarely use FedEx, and this is why. This is just unreliable as it can be. So, long story short, which is kind of late now, they gave me the number of the Winchester office, which that's the closest office from Front Royal, which is 35-minute drive. So he gave me the operations manager's phone number. So that was helpful. I hung up with the 800 FedEx guy, thanked him very much. I apologized. I said I didn't mean to take it out on him, but I'm really mad at this driver and to see what happened here. So the story continues. I call the operations manager and I give him a brief synopsis of what's going on. Again, he's anxiously listening to me, just trying to get me off the phone. So long story short, I told him what happened, and he said, okay, we can hold the package here, but I'm going to need you to call back at 4 to see if the truck made it back. I'm like, no. I was like, I'm 35 minutes away. If I call you at 4 and you say the truck's here and I drive up there, I'm not going to get there by 4:30. He's like, yeah, you're right. I was like, I know I'm right. It's like, no, I said, you need, which I don't do this very often, but I could tell he knew I was on edge. I said, here's what we need to do to solve this. So having a management background, problem solving background, and now I'm on the customer side of this. I told him firmly, as I said, you need to contact, I don't usually say you need, but in this case, I said, you need to call this driver. I know you can get a hold of this person. And you tell them, I'm home, I'm here, I saw them drive away, come bring me my delivery. And he paused and he said, okay. I was like, great. That's the response I wanted. So he had my cell phone number. He said he was going to call me back. So we hung up and I waited a few minutes longer and I'm starting to calm down. I'm like, okay. I was like, don't get overexcited. But, this is really just unnecessary stress of just it's a simple transaction, just trying to make a purchase and have it come from Massachusetts down to lovely Front Royal. And it's been nothing but a train wreck thus far trying to get this horn. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, phone rings. It's the operations manager. I'm not going to give names, but he actually was very helpful. And he said, I got a hold of the driver. They're in your neighborhood. She's going to come back by to deliver it. And I said, thank you very much. I appreciate your help. And I hung up. About 3 minutes later, lo and behold, I hear a truck coming up the road. And it's FedEx. They stop not past my house this time. They stop right in front of my house, right where my porch is. And I had the door open, so I walked right out, was trying to be pleasant. Same person, obviously. She went into the back, got my trumpet, walked up on the porch. I said, hello. She plopped it down on my love seat there on the porch, and she scanned it, and she gave me the thing to sign, and she said, yeah, I tried delivering this Saturday. I was like, oh, really? I wasn't here. I was here this morning now. I said it just like that. I said, I was here this morning when you drove up, took a picture of the left side of my house, and then you left. No doorbell, no nothing. You know how I know you didn't ring the doorbell or even attempt to deliver this? It's because I was standing on the porch. If you had taken a picture of the porch, you would have had me in the picture. And she kind of turned red. She didn't say anything. I'm still baffled. So I did a quick signature on her pad, grabbed my package, and I said something to the effects, "This is really poor." I was like, "This is really poor service." I didn't say goodbye. It's not like me. Anybody who knows me, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. This super pissed me off that she was I don't know. My assumption is she was just in a hurry or lazy, or maybe she didn't like the American flag that I fly out because my mom's been doing that all her life. I don't know what her deal was, but for whatever reason, that was a half-veiled assed attempt to do her job. So the good news is I got the horn safe and sound. Has nothing to do with the seller. This was all on FedEx. Really disappointed. And of course, they sent me an email a couple hours later. Hey, how was your experience? Yeah. Gave him a nice one. Gave him some nice comments about how incredibly poor this was and how they're wasting their customers' time. Multiple hours of wasted time for no reason whatsoever. It's like I didn't pay for delivery. I paid $65 for this nonsense. So that's the end of my rant. Thankfully, God gave us beer. And I'm going to wrap it up. Sorry if I sound mean-spirited. It's not my way, but I felt this rant needed to be told. If you have any experiences like this, not necessarily from FedEx, but just any shipping service, USPS, UPS, DHL, please leave me a like, comment. Let me know if you've had similar experiences, because that other than taking half my day away, it really just irked me beyond belief why they couldn't handle things better and more professionally. So shoo, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.